Welcome to the Felt Dyslexic Artist Interview. My name is Liz Buckridge. For me, as a dyslexic artist, other artists and creatives have always been my number one inspiration. In these interviews, we talk with artists and creatives who share their stories, and we gain insight into their process from inspiration to art tips, career building, and more. We're so lucky to listen to the wisdom of Emma Picard today. I'm so excited to hear about her past and future projects and share insight on life as an artist. Hi, Emma.
Hi.
Thank you for talking with us today.
No problem.
Okay, I'm going to jump right in. Describe the art you make. What medium do you primarily work in, and why do you choose that medium?
So recently I've been doing a lot of, so currently I work at a ceramic studio, and I'm not making my own work there, but I've been working with ceramics for about 3 years at this job. But I work with fine metals a lot in my spare time. I do a lot of like jewelry, fine metal working and stuff. But I love like all mediums. Like I work with fiber a lot. I knit and sew. This is Nina. Um, I work and I sew. I knit and I sew. I think what else? I draw a lot. I do printmaking sometimes. Kind of whatever tickles my fancy at the moment.
I was going to ask, is there any other mediums? But that's a lot.
Yeah.
How did you get into making art?
My parents were really supportive of me being able to make stuff. Like I can remember the earliest. I was like obsessed with sculpture as a really young kid, like 3. So I made things out of Play-Doh a lot, and I would make like these big crazy projects. So my parents like noticed me doing things like that, and they were like, "This is pretty cool," and seemed like she'd be interested in it. So they kind of supported me through that as a young kid, and I was able to keep making things. I never felt like disheartened about it, you know.
Well, I was going to ask, tell us about your background, how you first became interested in art. Do you think that the Play-Doh was the first thing?
Honestly, that's like my oldest memory of making things. So probably, yeah.
That's cool. How did you get into your specific style? What themes or subjects inspire your work?
I make a lot of different types of things, but usually um, things inspired by the natural world and like natural forms I really like. So that's kind of the colors and everything that I lean towards too. But I also love like romance, like Renaissance romance art and those types of colors and shapes and stuff. I think that's really cool.
This question is a little bit probably different, maybe, but do you consider yourself neurodivergent or neurotypical?
I have ADD diagnosed. um, so yeah, I guess I consider myself neurodivergent.
Yeah.
Neurodivergent.
Have you faced any challenges or setbacks in your art career, and how did you overcome them?
Actually, not really, because I can kind of lock in, and when I'm making stuff, I hyper focus when I'm working on a project. So it's actually in some ways helped me. Um, yeah.
I love that. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Washington State in a tiny neighborhood in the middle of the woods. It was a co-housing community. I mostly grew up there with my mom, and then I would spend weekends with my dad uh, in another small town in Washington. But I spent a lot of time in the woods, and I also spent a lot of time in Rhode Island because I was born here and I spent weekends here and stuff. So, but mostly Washington.
Do you remember doing art when you were in Washington?
All the time. Yeah. Like I at school I got in trouble all the time for not doing what I was supposed to be doing and drawing or whatever.
Um, okay, so do you have a favorite colorway for your art? And is the colorway for your art different or the same as the colors in your house?
I love brown, obviously. Um, and I really like greens and natural colors, but I kind of use everything. I think the house definitely expresses that a little bit. Yeah.
Describe the space where you make your art. Where are we?
We're currently in the dining room of my house, and I make stuff everywhere. So I actually work down here a lot. I'll work up in my room. I have a little desk, but it's very messy. Um, I have like a little desk where I do some stuff, but I need to set up like a full. My goal is to set up a full like little metalworking station. So I'll need to set up a place that I can't set anything on fire and have good ventilation. So I think that's a future project, but that's the goal.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
How did your school system support your interest in art growing up?
It was very supportive. I went to a alternative school, so I did Montessori schooling from first grade through 10th grade, and that's really student led. And I had a lot of those teachers were artists and like taught humanities and stuff. So it was a very supportive artistic environment, like all through like 10 years of that and college too, for sure. Because I went to a liberal arts school and we made a lot of art and stuff.
Did any teachers stand out to you or mentors?
I had, oh my God, in my Montessori school, so I only had like maybe 5 teachers full time, like in those 10 years. So I had one teacher named Andy Rosane, who actually trained as a classical oil painter. And he like grew up in Vermont and did that. And so he was he was super supportive of me learning new things and trying new things. Like he always at the end of the year, every year, the teachers would usually give us like a little gift and we would give them a little gift. And, like every year he would give me like super cool art supplies or um, like books. Like I still have a ton of really cool art books that he gave me. So I loved him. I had another art teacher that I was super close with named Michelle Taylor. I TA'd for her a lot in art classes, so we became buddies. Yeah, I have a lot of good mentors in my life,
That's
and I love
awesome.
them.
That's awesome. Um, how do you see your work evolving or changing in the future? What do you have planned?
All right, I haven't been able to make as much of my own stuff the last couple of years as I've wanted to. So my goal is to save money and get a kiln, or at least get access to a kiln, and that's not at my work, and start making ceramics at home because I think that I'm able to do ceramics a lot. I do it 5 days a week and I love it, but I'm not given as much creative freedom as I want and need, I think. So that's the goal. That's the future plan. Get a wheel, get a space, get my metalworking space set up. So I'll have like a whole little, I'm gonna get a little shop prepared to work in because yeah, that's my plan.
I love that. Is making art emotional process for you or strategic?
Both. I mean, I, at my job, I guess I would say it's strategic because I'm able to utilize skills that make me money directly for my job, but I think when I'm making things, I make them because I want to and because it makes me happy or it makes me sad or whatever, you know.
Makes
It
you have
just it,
feelings.
it just pops out
Yeah,
however I'm feeling.
I love that. Can you walk us through your creative process from idea to finished piece?
So depending on what I'm making, but this is like my typical process for anything is I'll sketch a lot. So I'll do tons of little, I'll usually do like little tiny thumbnails of like an idea and then I'll, expand that into bigger things. And then I kind of plan out like if it's an embroidery project, I'll like plan out that's more I care more about colors and stuff. But if it's just like a painting or a drawing or even like something made out of ceramics, I kind of am more focused on like form and stuff. Um, but yeah, I'll like make those sketches and kind of get a general idea because I'm usually able to like get an idea of what I want to make just in my brain, but I need to like get it out a little bit so I can organize it, and then I'll make the thing. Usually after that, so it's pretty yeah.
Um, how do you combine the art you love to make and the art you sell?
That's a good question. I think at my job right now, I love I love my job. Like I have great coworkers and it's a very super supportive job. Um, but I feel like I'm not really making things that I love there necessarily. Um, but I like making things to sell to people that they'll use. Like I really like the idea that people are like utilizing the pieces that I'm making. I think that's kind of just how I think of it. I don't think of it of the selling process that much. I think of like the using process, I guess.
I love that. How do people find your art to purchase?
I don't really have anywhere right now for my own stuff. At my job, you can go to peterpotts.com or go to the shop. They have a really cute store. Um, but my plan right now is to kind of get a studio set up here and make my own little shop, probably on Instagram. And I think that's going to be the easiest way to do it. Um, yeah, that's the plan for now.
Well, we'll put that information in the show notes and we'll update it when you get your own website for your shop.
That sounds good.
Um, can you share a recent project or piece of work that you're particularly happy about?
Yes. I have a lot of stuff. This is I. This is just a good example of like I do a lot of like sketching before I'll do a project. So like I'll do these are some bowls that I was planning a while ago. Um, let's see. Yeah, these are just some drawings that I did. There's some little like paintings and drawings that I've done. But these ones, so this is some of the knitting projects I've worked on recently. These are Christmas presents though. So these are like this is the type of stuff that I sew a lot. Like a little glove, but it's a little like disease hand. I can put it on. It's really small. It's kind of weird. But yeah. This is my little disease glove that I made. I make a lot of jewelry and I work with metal a lot. And like these are my baby teeth earrings that I made that are pretty cool. but they're like little danglies. And these are my baby teeth, and I think some of my sister's baby teeth too. um, and this is a thimble that I made. I use it for sewing a lot. This is a matrix for a lino cut print that I carved. So this is like linoleum mounted on wood, and then you carve out of the linoleum, and then I inked it and printed it. I don't actually have any of the prints, but I have this. This is some embroidery. So this one I have, like this, I did a ton of little sketches and colors and stuff. I planned out. Yeah, it's a two-headed calf, like from the poem. And I don't know. Tell me to stop whenever I'm.
No, I don't want you to stop. This is fascinating.
I brought a little pile. Yeah, I love like working with shells. So these are like some little earrings that I'm with shells from the beach, and I really like fun textures and beads. There's some earrings. There's some more earrings. I have some like this is just some of the stuff that I brought down. These are some rat bones that I found under my mom's porch that I made into earrings. These are actually I made a few. I brought down a few of the ceramic beads that I made into jewelry. But these are like little eyeball kind of eyes. Maybe there's some ceramic beads that I made into earrings. So it's like a lot of the jewelry I make is like that. Same deal. Yeah, these are just little. And I typically only work with sterling, so I'm picky about metals and stuff. And this is like an example of some embroidery slash paper cut work that I did. This is my old dog, Dudley. He's no longer with us, but this was his memorial piece that I made for him. And then this is a print that I did of my parents' house that burned down. And this is the house while it was burning down that I made a print of. Yeah, but I actually don't have any of my ceramics with me because they're all with my mom, or I gifted them away, or I sold them. But I have pictures that I'll send to you.
That's amazing. How do you stay motivated as an artist?
I just like to make stuff, and if I can't, I go crazy. I lose it. Like I was the type of kid that if I like didn't have anything to play with, I would like walk around the house and find pieces of trash and like make them into things. Like, yeah.
Are there any artists or creatives who have influenced or inspired your work?
My work, not a ton, but there are definitely people in my life that inspire me to make stuff, like Molly Sexton, and Rupert's pretty cool, Rupert Nesbitt. And I actually, when I don't have any of them with me, but I'm really a fan of Klimt type forms, and I really like the colors that he used in a lot of his paintings. So I guess as far as like an artist that inspires my work, probably him. But yeah.
What advice would you give to an aspiring artist looking to pursue a career in the arts?
Do it. Have fun. I mean, I was really lucky to get a job at a ceramic studio right out of college. Like that's pretty awesome. But yeah, like you can just make stuff if you want to. And if you want to sell it, sell it. But don't sell it if you don't want to. Yeah.
I love that. What is your favorite book, movie, song, or podcast?
Oh my God. Song right now is Hot Freaks by Guided by Voices. It's just really good. Books. I actually listen to audiobooks all day at my job. So I'm able to get through like a lot of them. But recently I've been listening to a really long audiobook series. It's a book series on audio called The Baroque Cycle by Neil Stephenson. My dad introduced me to it and told me I should listen to it. And that's really good. It's dense, but it's a really fun story. Yeah, movie. I really like The Lighthouse. That just popped into my head, but I'm a big fan. Willem Dafoe's pretty cool. Yeah.
Great. Do you listen to podcasts ever?
I did for a long time, and then I'll go through phases. Like there was a year where I was like only listening to podcasts. There's one, oh my God, Heavyweight. Can't remember the guy's name who started it. But he used to work with Ira Glass. It's so good. Heavyweight. Definitely top recommendation. Yeah.
Is there a book that you recommend to people over and over again that's different than those books?
It's kind of embarrassing, but I really like the Outlander series, and I tell everyone to read it.
I think that's good.
I really like historical fiction, and I think it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about that I didn't ask?
Food. I love to cook. I definitely think of that as part of my creative outlet. My sister works at a bakery right now, so she's always kind of leaned more of like the baking side of cooking, but I like making stuff. I like making my own food. All of my parents are big food people, and they definitely passed that on to me. So I love finding new things to eat, and I love making new things. Yeah.
Is there a specific type of food you like to
I
make?
love making Korean food. It's like such a it's almost always a really fun process, and it tastes so good.
What is that exact? Is it kimchi or what is
Yeah,
it?
I've never made kimchi. It's pretty complicated. I mean, it's not complicated. I'm just afraid of fermenting things because I'm afraid it'll like blow up. But yeah, it's a lot of like different temperatures of foods. There's a lot of like cold, like noodles, but then like hot, really hot soups. A lot of like beautiful colors. Like that's a big part of a lot of Korean food is like bright, bright green, and there's a lot of carrots. Yeah, things like that. It's delicious. It's usually spicy and not always, but fermented and tasty. I'm a big fan.
Did I ask about the colorway? I did already. How did I forget? Did I
Yeah, you
ask?
did.
But tell me again about that, about your favorite colorway.
I love natural colors.
Oh yeah, that's right. Greens
But
and blues.
I love greens and I love blues.
I just want to hear more about the greens and blues right now. I don't know why.
But I love all colors like so much. So I use all of them. But I guess I kind of food is something that I am more thoughtful about the colors of, which is weird.
Yeah, I guess I wanted to hear a little bit more about that. Is it like reds or you're just still into the greens and blues? There's not really blue food, is there?
No.
I think I'm fascinated about your interest in color.
Yeah, I mean, I want food to look pretty before I eat it or give it to someone or whatever. Yeah. But color has definitely always been important to me. but I don't limit myself or anything.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
I'll just work
fascinating.
with whatever. I also often will just work with whatever I have. So I like sometimes I'll have like only a specific color of fabric or whatever, and I'll just like use it and figure out what I'm gonna do with it. I often like won't go into something with a big color plan. I'll sort of just work with what I have and then, plan as I go. If I don't have like you know, if it's a sketched out serious project, I'm usually pretty particular about it, but yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I think that was the missing piece of my question is that you work with what you have
Yeah.
often.
Yeah.
And
That's
so,
definitely the big theme. I guess that's the biggest theme. Like this was just a sweatshirt that I use. Yeah, a lot of that stuff.
I love that. Well, thank you so much, Emma, for letting us
Great.
into your home today and this space where you work. I felt inspired for sure.
I'm
You're
glad.
definitely inspirational to me. Much love, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yay.